everybody, how are you doing? This is Gosia from Cosmic Agency. This is the next video in this inspirational series of videos that I have for you. And this is going to be two parts video. First, I'm going to present to you Jyrki, our Finnish friend here in Finland. Someone who has helped us a lot when we first moved in here, so we cherish him very much. And he was a fan of our channel. That's how we met, actually. That's how he met. So he follows this Varu information and Jyrki and Tagatan information, and he likes it very much. And also he has some interesting ideas about what Jyrki was mentioning about in the last video, about the communities, about the future, about how we should be approaching what's coming. And I really liked many of his points, and I'm going to link it to the next part of the video, which I really want you to see, because I'm going to present an idea that I have regarding this whole community situation and everything. It's a small idea, but hey, we have to start with something. Everybody needs to contribute. Well, they don't need to, whatever they feel they are drawn to contribute. But this is something I felt the call to do, and I'm going to explain it after you watch the interview. So enjoy the interview, and I'm going to see you very soon after. Oh, and one more thing. Jyrki, this is his first time in public and first time doing the interview and speaking this way. So he was quite nervous, but he did a good job. Thank you very much, Jyrki, for this interview. And I'll see you at the end. Well, hello there. How did you like that video? And how did you like Jyrki information? I think it was very important what she said. And for this part of the video, I actually have here with us our friend Jyrki. Is that right?
Hello, yes, that's right. Jyrki.
How do you pronounce your name?
Jyrki.
Jyrki, so it's more like Jyrki. Okay. I have him here as a real life example of what we are trying to transmit here and how we are trying to inspire people to take some action and to have some hope about the possible future timelines. Because Jyrki himself, he was working in a matrix for a very long time, and in a system, even though you liked your job, there were parts of it that were not fulfilling you. Yeah, and you'll tell your story now. And now recently he quit that job, he said goodbye, and he jumped totally into the unknown, and he's believing that the universe will provide some other opportunity for him where he wants to actually help people, and he wants to contribute to this humanity in a different way. And he believes that joining up with other people and creating sort of community network is a crucial part of our future, and it's something that he wants to involve himself in. And that's what I would like to tell you as well, how important now networking is with ourselves, within our own groups. I will actually have a small message from myself at the end of this video, but now I want to just give it to Jyrki himself, and please tell us how this happened. You were working in the Matrix, you left, why did you leave, and what is your vision for the future? What do you want to do?
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Actually, I've been working in IT branch, IT management, IT support, so on, for about 25 years now. And I was pretty happy for a very long time, but sometime about maybe 5 years ago, something started seeming that it's not right. But time went on, months went on, years went on, and nothing happened. But last 2 years have been very, very fast progression and changing in my attitudes towards the work, and how I see how the companies and the whole economic structure works around here in our communities and in our societies. It started feeling like that I'm wasting my time, that I could do something else to contribute to the global situation. And the more I thought about it, the more I observed how the society progresses and what are the changes, what's in the news and what's happening, the more I started feeling that this job is totally wrong. It's not contributing at all to the benefit of the humanity. Actually, it's more like the problem. So the problem is that people go to work to do things that they are not very passionate about and they do not care about. And I was approaching that point that when I had to admit to myself that it's kind of lying to myself and lying to my employer that I pretend to be doing good work here. I resigned totally from the work and had the idea that something will come to me when the time is right. And actually I'm not in a hurry to get another job. I'm not looking for a job right now. I pretty much would like to spend some time, maybe months, maybe a year, just to get more relaxed, more close to myself, who I truly am, and what do I really want to do. But if in the meantime universe shows me something, I will tackle that idea and start building on that. But I'm open to universe's suggestions. I'm joking that if somebody offers me a job to save the world or save the whole world or the whole humanity, then I will take the job. But
Okay.
but that is a joke. But the idea anyway is that if I ever want to be in a salary job anymore, then it must be something that clearly benefits humanity. I'm not want to do work for some stock exchange company with faceless owners who do whatever with the profits, and when the workers don't have very much to say what to do and how.
So did you feel any fear at that point that you are jumping into the unknown, and especially with what's happening in the world, and you are leaving a job that you had? And
No, actually I was pretty soon convinced that that's the right thing to do, and whatever happens, it's for in my best interest and for my higher self.
okay, what do you advise to the people who want to follow your advice and want to do what they really want to do, but how to start? What's the first step? Is it even possible in the matrix that we have still?
Well, everything is ideas. Everything starts with an idea and thinking. You have to start pondering these questions and think if there's any possibility to change something small. You don't have to change all your life at the same time. You can start a small stone first and see where it leads, and maybe it will lead to another step.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. That's what I always say, that you don't have to see the whole staircase when you go climbing up. All you need to see is there's the next step. You don't need to see where that staircase ends exactly. And just maybe I'm going to take advantage of Jyrki here. And what would you say to the people who don't know really what they want? How do they identify what they want? Because now, okay, they are in the matrix and they don't like their job. But what is it they really want? How to identify what you really want, what you are meant to do?
It's a really tough question, because somehow for myself it has been started, the information and ideas just start flowing, and you just need to start paying attention to your ideas and your thinking. So
Yeah.
so it's not anything that I very consciously chose to do, but something that was interesting to me, and I started evaluating different options in my mind, and that's how it slowly evolved, and I think now it's getting more speed. So
Yeah. Following your enthusiasm, it's that spark, that's something that awakens you. There's always something. I know there are people who say, "Well, I don't have any spark. I don't know what I'm enthusiastic about." There's always something. Like you said, pay attention to yourself. Know yourself. That's the idea. Meditate. Spend time with yourself. Know what makes you alive.
And you don't have to decide for yourself for the next 10 years or 20
Exactly.
years. You have to live in the moment and think for the present moment, or maybe next day or the next week. But don't focus too far. Don't lock your opportunities for too long, because everything's in the change process all the time. So we need to do decisions one by one.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. That's how I am. I flow with the energies that take me from one place to another, day by day, and ideas emerge. Just listen to yourself. I think what I wanted to say with this also is that if you feel you are in some kind of a position or a situation where you feel it's not for you, but you don't make space for the new energies or for the new opportunities, they will not present themselves. You need to somehow let go and be brave and not be afraid and risk, because only then you are like demonstrating with your action to the universe that you are making a move and that you are making a path, that you are making a space for something new to arrive, and only then the new can appear. So now talking about that new, I know that new that you want to involve yourself with is something to do with the current situation, with the current shift of where this world situation could be going towards, and that you want to do something for the community. Why do you believe that working with the community now, with the star seeds, is important?
I really see, I've been seeing for some time that there's a great separation building between different humans, different groups of humans, and if you just see the news for a short moment, you can really easily get convinced that this really is happening, that people have opposite beliefs, and actually not even opposite but totally different. There are great many of problems with the current old society or the countries and the systems in the world, and I started to think that the problems are so huge, so systemic, so deeply penetrated in the system that there is no possibility to fix them. So the logical thing is to ditch the old system altogether and pretty much ignore it, or start the transition away from that old system altogether and bring something new, create something totally different. It's a good opportunity to start something new that does not have the weight of the past in the old society. And the more I think that way, it sounds better and better and more probable and more probable. And actually I already noticed that people are starting gathering, they are building networks, and they are meeting, building some kind of communities. For example, in Finland there are people are building whole new villages to live together in this kind of setup where they can decide what they want to do regardless of the bad old decisions in the old society. And this is worldwide. This is not only here in Finland. This is I know similar groups gathering and gaining volume in, for example, in Sweden or New Zealand and so on. So I see this as a global trend. So something huge is brewing. Something is brewing, exactly. I've been feeling it as well. But what do you think, except for those villages, what could be other practical ways for people to contribute to the creation of the new system? I know it's not an easy question. Well, for example, by starting to know each other, talking to each other, and sharing ideas, sharing best practices, for example, sharing food, growing food, and doing other kind of actions together. For example, if the community grows enough, they may want to start their own kindergarten or school for children or something like that. I see that is a very probable progression in the coming years.
Yes, and it's something that hit me few days ago. I don't know if it's also had to do with that something floating energetically, but it hit me very strongly. I had this vision of the importance of what you were talking about. Like, and normally I'm very. I remember I told you the last time we met that I'm not really with people, that I'm antisocial. I don't want to be involved in communities.
Yes.
But that's just me. But 2 days ago I felt that very strong sensation of the importance of that networking and of making ourselves strong. Because like I was telling you today, I feel that the last year was more on informing the rest of the people about the dangers of the papaya things and about everything. But now I feel the phase is about bonding between ourselves and making ourselves strong and creating the new and fortifying our own support system. Somehow it is just a very vague idea in my head, but it's already brewing.
But something similar has been floating around in my head for a couple of months maybe now.
Yeah, well, you before me, because I remember we talked about this in our last meeting, and me just a few days ago, just like it hit me, and I got some ideas, but it's still quite vague. But I think something like this, is brewing in a etheric or even physical dimension of our life already. People are joining up and creating initiatives. Because as Jyrki says, it's important to be proactive now and support each other. If one person loses a job because of he can't take the papaya, then he meets up with other people who can maybe temporarily help him, and this way we support each other and we don't give in. The idea is not to give in to the system, because many people tell me this. I have to do that. I have to take this shot because I'm gonna lose my job. Well, then you lose your job. You lost your job even though it was voluntary.
Yes.
But have faith in yourself and in the process and in this shift that we are a part of. So you're choosing your job, or you're choosing humanity in your soul.
Some branches, some businesses, especially in the healthcare, are facing a moment soon. I believe quite a lot of people will be resigning from healthcare.
You think?
I think if they be forced to take the papaya shot, they might be 10% or 20% or some other persons of people who don't want to take that, and they will hopefully resign. But that is so huge amount of people that they could right away start their own healthcare business that would be totally usable already in the new emerging communities.
Oh yeah, that's a very good idea. Yeah, I didn't think of that. The people who are resigning, they could create their own independent sectors and create like this alternative parallel society structure.
It feels like the situation is already enforcing that to go that way.
How is the situation in Finland in general? With the papaya shots and all that, are the people taking them?
I have the feeling that the great audience has accepted the shots, and vast majority of the people are pro and even advocating their friends and families that you should be in this movement. But
so, what other practical idea or advice do you have for people at this point? What else can they do?
I think that people should get more close to themselves. For example, by meditating and practicing, for example, yoga, as I do, but any kind of thing that makes your mind clear, to make you vibrate at your own real vibration. That will that will cause an effect that you will gather the people around you that you need, and that you benefit the most, that you can benefit the most. And this is the mechanism how the communities will start to grow. So I pretty much would advise everybody to take it easy, stay calm, and observe yourself and be easy on yourself, and do not require too much. Just observe and act as your higher self says you to act.
Okay.
Maybe that's the best way forward at this moment.
I agree.
A few weeks ago, an idea came to my mind about law and legislation, and I realized that there are many laws in societies that are totally obsolete, totally irrelevant, and I just thought that I don't need to abide those laws. I don't need to obey them. I will only accept those laws that make sense to me or are beneficial to me.
No, that's not very Finnish way, right? Because the Finnish people are very law-abiding people in general.
Yeah, that's more like an idea or a sudden understanding how the things work. Maybe I didn't want to go to break the law at the same time, but it gave me more freedom. For example, if I want to jaywalk against the red lights, it's okay if there's nobody else there.
Yeah, if there is no car. We'll tell Matthias this because he's always obeying that.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't like to walk on a red light. That's one of the examples.
This understanding that you don't have to obey the laws, those irrelevant laws that don't make sense, is leading possibly to civil disobedience, and that's one of the things, one of the measures we can start shutting down the old society if we don't accept the rules, and if we act differently en masse, that will start changing the rules and creating the new society, new version of Matrix, if you will.
Yeah.
And actually, it pretty much looks like the old society has started pushing certain people out of the system, out of the Matrix. And surprisingly, at the same time, the same people really do like to get out of that system. So this is causing more of this separation, more progress towards the new communities, new societies building.
Yeah, the separation gap is really growing. It's amazing. Like it's never been this way before in our history, I would say, even as humanity.
As to my knowledge, yes. But
yeah, as to my knowledge too. Do you think it's going to be it's possible that the two societies, one that is separating the new and the old, will be like living in totally two different separate realities, or perhaps there's going to be some overlapping happening?
Not necessarily. I like to think that there will be some overlapping, and there are probably more than two realities, more than two matrices creating at the moment. They may share some part of might be so separate that the other matrix cannot understand or even see the other part of that other matrix. That kind of separation will likely happen.
Mm-hmm. Are you generally positive about the future, or not so positive?
Well, in the end, I think everything will be all right. But of course, there's a long way to go there, and everything is progressing seemingly slow, but on the other hand, very fast. So very interesting months, very interesting years ahead.
Definitely.
I believe these new emerging communities will be based on the idea that they will support their members, all the individuals' growth by respecting each other's own wishes and needs, and that's totally different to the current old society, which pretty much dictates how do you need to behave, what kind of life you need to have, what is acceptable and what is not acceptable. So the main principle, one of the main principles of the new societies will be the respect for individual need, individual wish, interest, how to grow, how to expand.
Well, that sounds very much like a holographic society, and I still have that in the pending section of the videos to make, how to create a holographic society. They wanted to give more information about that, so maybe that's going to be of interest to the people at these times to make that video, about the holographic society model, how that works, because that's exactly how they operate. They support each other based on everybody's own interests. They don't impose anything on anybody, and everybody's happy.
Yeah, I might admit that idea came from the holographic society information I've been following on your channel.
How long have you been following the channel, by the way?
I think I found your channel in October 2019.
Okay, that's how we met.
Okay.
And what is the most important thing that you found useful for yourself there?
I'm not sure if I can name a single one thing, but the information from Taigeta has been expanding my view on how the society works, how people are being manipulated, and how manifestation works, and how this whole our reality is constructed, and how you can affect it, and how it's being manipulated all the time without many of us knowing what is happening and why.
Yeah.
And these have been some of the most important lessons I've been learning.
Excellent. So this is the opportunity actually to say something to Jyrki and Varu, Athena, and maybe any Taigetans that are watching, because they will be watching you. So
thank you. Thank you for your work. You are doing incredible job.
Yes, thanks from me as well. And thank you for being here. And this is your first interview, first video of this kind. So I know you were very nervous, but you did a good job.
Thank you.
And first public appearance talking about this stuff, right?
Yes, pretty much. I've been really quiet so far.
Well, let's see what door that will open for you.
Let's see.
Well, thank you very much, Jyrki, for being here and for inviting us to this location. And I'll see you around sometime. And stay tuned, because there's more to the video. Thank you very much, Jyrki, for this interview. I liked it very much, and there are a lot of interesting ideas here. And I'm wishing you all the best. Now, I want to share with you something that has been brewing in my head recently, and it came out as a result of the communication that I had with a girl who wrote me an email. She was in Mexico, by the way. Christian, her name is. How are you doing, Christian? And she was stuck basically in Mexico. She was from Brazil, and she was trying to go back to Brazil. So she wrote me, and she said that she had to take PCR tests, and she's all healthy, she's all fine, but for some reason, of course, we know what reason, the PCR tests were coming out positive, and she wasn't allowed on the plane. So she wrote me if I can maybe assist with something, and I published a post in my community and into Facebook, maybe if there was someone in the area that could help, or any idea that they have to help this girl, and there were a lot of people that ended up writing her, and she ended up receiving an assistant from one of our followers, Doctor, and she was able to get back to Brazil without any trouble. So she wrote me back, and she was saying how grateful she was for the help, and how amazed she was that fast people were able to gather and offer help. And she mentioned that, we have this great power here in our hands. In what sense? Because we have the followers, the people who are listening, and with that great power, as Jyrki said in the last video, it hit me, comes great responsibility. And in that incident made me realize that, we have all these people, we have you, we have the starseeds who are listening to this information, who are listening to this channel, and they are there, and as Jyrki said, most of the time they are scattered, they are diffused, they work alone, and they do not condense. So again, as she said in that video, Spider's man, quote, with a great power comes with a great responsibility. And I started to feel this responsibility suddenly when I realized that, we have these people, these troops that are here and are willing to help one another, but they are not coordinated. Or they maybe coordinate themselves because already there are groups forming, of course, and that's amazing. But still, there are more of them that are not forming yet. And here we have this great, like I'm saying, following of people ready to help one another, that something should be done. Something should be done. I felt this surge of responsibility and of influence and of pressure suddenly on me to do something about this, just like it was in the case of this Mexican girl, that she was helped so suddenly. We have this great network of people. In Spanish, there is a huge community, and there is a huge community also in the English channel. So, last year, it was the year of educating the people, and educating the ignorant people who don't know yet what's happening. So it was the time of bringing the information to the public, to the masses, trying to help them and trying to save their humanity. And it's still the goal, of course. But I feel that time is over of educating the masses. I feel like most of them already had the chance to educate themselves, and they already made a decision. And now it's time to reinforce ourselves. Now it's time to reinforce our own troops. And I realized this also when I saw that some of my friends know of the dangers of the papaya. They are aware of what is being said about the dangers of the papayas, but they are still taking them. They are still taking that responsibility on themselves, and they are doing it. So I feel like the time of trying to help those people has passed. Enough is enough. We're trying to reach them, and we have tried. They are making their own bets. And now we need to take care of our own, and we need to fortify our own presence, our own strength, our own fortress. Now, I know that many people are already doing it, and I'm very happy when I see those initiatives happening. But hey, we have our network of people as well. Great network of great people. So I feel I should push a little more and come up with something here. So based on that situation with that Brazilian girl in Mexico, I decided I'm going to create a Facebook group, which is going to be called, it already exists, it's called Cosmic Agency Support Line. But in that group, it's not going to be just a normal Starseeds group. There are plenty of those groups around. This is where people who need help, like that girl in Mexico, people who need help with whatever, something specific, legal, health, psychological, school, any kind of situation they are finding themselves in that they might want and need and seek assistance. This is where they can go, and other people can offer their ideas and their help, their advice, their direct assistance, kind of like an underground resistance movement where we can quickly help each other. This is what Jyrki was talking about. Group together, help each other in the community. If one of us is losing a job, someone maybe has an idea how to help that person. The idea is to resist and not to give in to the system, because I already see this happening too. The people who are believing this information, who want to resist, but they are giving in. They are giving in. The system has got them. So the only way I feel to resist this properly and correctly and with confidence is to support one another in this great grid of people who understand each other and who can quickly assist each other. So this is what this Facebook group is about. So you are welcome to join it, please. The link is going to be underneath this video, and I will also publish it everywhere, so you will be able to find it easily. Because like I said, this is the time to reinforce our own troops. People are scattered, people need help and assistance, and there is no small action, like Jyrki said. I know this is probably a small action, but hey, I have a responsibility to do something with what I have. And I have this network of people who follow us, so I want to help you, help that network of people, no matter how small it is, and it's not that small. So this is my contribution, and you know, people when help one another, when they help others, they feel useful. And what that does to you, when you feel useful, it motivates you, it lifts you up, it raises your frequency, and you are elevated and inspired to do even more. Because this is exactly what happened with the situation with this girl in Mexico. When I was able to help this girl, and I realized that, wow, it was quite easy to help this person because of the great network of people that we have, that made me feel useful. And that made me feel that I can do more. And it's sort of a butterfly effect. So people, when they start helping one another, it will make them feel better about themselves. It will make them feel like they are contributing, and it will motivate them to do more. Because that situation in Mexico with that girl motivated me to do even more. So every small action might have great results, like a wave, like a butterfly effect. So never underestimate what you can do. So I'm very happy about this idea. I know it's already existing out there, and people are joining up and helping one another, but hey, we need to do whatever we can. Like Jyrki said, whatever is in your power, and I feel that small action is within my power. So this is what I want to do. It's about making a move, no matter how small it seems. It's about not being stagnant, because this may also motivate other people to create something similar within their own countries. And that's another thing. I would like to somehow make this available to people within their own countries, but it's just like I don't know how to do that. So I think the best way would be for you to organize yourself according to the countries. So if anybody is opening that group within your country, just let me know, send me a link. For example, if it's a Telegram group in Argentina, that I will make sure and I will publish that group in Argentina, so more people from Argentina can join you. Okay, so I will leave it up to you to create those groups within each country. Just let me know, send me the link to that group, and I will promote it so that more people can join. Because as Jyrki said, and as I will always say, this is not lost. It's not a lost game, no matter how discouraged and sad and tired you feel. My feeling is that as long as there are breathing and walking souls walking this planet, who are still on our side and choosing to fight this, then this is not over. Even there is just one person who still breathes here on the planet and knows the truth, then this is our responsibility to be there for that person. And it's not over. As long as there is one person that still knows the truth, it's not over. It's over when there is going to be no one. But there are millions of us. That's why this is nowhere near being over, and we have to continue. Also, another thing that was mentioned by one of you in the comments was that, I don't feel I resonate with this information of fighting because I don't want to fight. This is sounds maybe aggressive to me. Fighting is not necessarily going out there and involving yourself with some kind of a violent activity. It doesn't have to be direct physical or verbal violent confrontation with anybody. Fighting, it just means maintaining the fort, maintaining your strength and maintaining your own, whatever role you have. We have first-line soldiers who are actively involved in the fights, and then we have medics and we have healers who are not fighting directly, but they are also supporting the fight. They are there, they are maintaining their role, they're maintaining the fort. So whatever role you have to support this cause, this is also part of the fight. I don't really fight in any way. I just make videos, but this is my way of contributing to the fight. So just find your way, whatever resonates with you. But it is about being firm and supporting the cause. That's the fight. Another thing that I want to mention, when you have those groups open, or even within the groups that you already have, like Jyrki said, this is super important. Put aside your differences. I mean it. Eyes on the target. You don't have to agree with each other. You don't even have to like each other. Don't let that divide you. You both have, whatever you and the other person you are disagreeing with, you both have a common goal, standing up to the system. Later on, you will figure out the rest. But for now, let that common goal bond you and keep you together. You don't need to talk to each other very much. Like I said, you don't even have to like each other. This is not about, liking one another, and just because we are all starseeds, we are supposed to like each other. And if we don't like each other, no, something is wrong, this is not going to work out. Put that aside, it doesn't matter. Of course we're not going to be able to like each other and even to agree with one another because we are all from different races. Yes, we are starseeds and awakened people, but we all come from different backgrounds and cosmic ideas. We are Arcturians, Pleiadians, Tesserians. We are from so many places in the universe. So of course there's going to be differences, but it's okay. Agree to disagree and eyes on the target. Just maintain the fort. Maintain the fort. Those who stand somewhere on the fort, guarding the fortress, do not, end up fighting about who is standing where, and here we need 2 people and there we need 4. And, on this side we need actually 5 people and maybe better we have 2. And what do you think? We stand there with hammers and not with spears. It doesn't matter. Those differences are petty in that larger perspective. Just keep the larger perspective in mind and don't let yourself be scattered and divided. Eyes on the target. Now, what you can do in those groups, you can share information, you can keep educating yourself because there is still a lot to learn each time there is new information coming out and new data. Educate each other, lift each other up, give each other assistance and advice. You don't need to be coming up with elaborate new society structures right away, even though I know there are already ideas floating out there and quite elaborate systems already of holographic societies, but little by little, and do not get discouraged if you feel nothing is happening. Stick around, be there. You will be tired, but that's okay. You'll be tired with one another, but that's okay. Just stay there in that group. Unless you truly feel this is not for you, but stay close to your own tribe because you just never know where you might need some kind of assistance or when someone might need your assistance. And be very respectful to one another and to your own differences. Like Kaigetans, when we talk in councils, like for example, when there is a specific issue to discuss, and sometimes there are those decisions to make, and they convoke a meeting, and it's a council meeting, and there are many of us there, and everyone expresses their opinion about how to solve the situation. Everybody has their own contribution, and even though there are disagreements, there is so much respect for one another. There is just so much kindness, and everybody listens to one another. There's no discrimination of anybody's opinion, and everyone's opinion is taken into account about how to approach a specific situation. And then, there is an agreement that everyone tries to reach. So just keep that in mind. It's one of the models for maintaining the harmony in the holographic system. So that's that. Remember the link to the group underneath this video, and I will also be promoting that link in English and in Spanish, 2 groups. But just remember, be very specific in that group. That group is not just to come in and say anything like in many other groups. I try to keep it more specific and purpose-driven, which is to offer a specific assistance, idea, legal advice to people who might be in trouble. Okay? So keep that in mind. Let's not try to saturate that group with just anything, with memes and jokes. Very purpose-oriented. Okay? So thank you very much. Thank you very much, Jyrki, again, for participating in my interview. And we'll see each other in the next video, video number 3, which I called John Manifesto. Well, thank you very much again and see you soon.